That's a glorious soundtrack, isn't it? I don't know if such a thing exists, but this is the perfect sound to size ratio. Let me try and explain. You have all these big performance SUVs, you have the big sports cars, you have small sports cars, you have tiny sports cars, you have the hot hatches. They all have their own soundtrack. But somehow most of it feels artificial. There are very few sports cars where the sound of the engine matches the character of this car. And that is exactly what happens in here as well. The cheerful character of this car is complemented by that soundtrack. It just sounds excited. It just sounds very cheerful. It sounds very youthful. And that is what makes it so much fun to drive. It pushes you to go faster. Now, the last time we drove the Mini Cooper S, it didn't sound as loud, as cheerful. It was a lot more sober. This one sounds so different because it gets this additional device. It looks like a detonator. It's even got this flashing red light on top, and it has a switch that says double click for track mode.
Press the button and hell breaks loose for this little hatchback, or at least that is what it sounds like. This isn't your regular Mini Cooper S then. It wears the all-important JCW or the John Cooper Works badge. No, this isn't the hardcore JCW either. It's more like a JCW PTK, which is essentially a pro tuning kit that bridges the gap between the road-friendly Cooper S and the track-focused JCW. It does it quite well too, managing to extract 210 PS from the familiar 2-liter turbocharged engine. That's 28 PS more than the S and 18 PS shy of the full-blown JCW, which by the way isn't sold to us yet. The additional power gives it quicker sprints to 100 from standstill. The best that we managed was a 6.9 seconds, which was quicker than the regular Cooper S by 0.2 seconds. This kit essentially runs a retuned ECU and has a revised intake. The engine literally feels like it's breathing better than in the Cooper S and also has a stronger push higher up the revs.
It just doesn't feel like the torque is ever ending. They've managed to tune the torque spread so nicely. It's just there every time you want it. There's no hint of lag. There's no hint of pause between the dab of your foot on the throttle pedal and the way the car surges forward. It's just so much fun. It gives me that childish excitement to drive this car.
The JCW kit doesn't tinker with the chassis at all, and that is because it doesn't need to. The body balance of this Mini is impeccable as you would expect, provided you opt for the adaptive dampers. No, it doesn't have the feel of a rear-wheel driven go-kart as the car advertises, but it comes very close to maintaining a flat ride. The only flies in the ointment, however, are the tires and the brakes.
I'm not sure if it's inherently this tire model that isn't as grippy, or is it because it's done about 10,000 kilometers now and probably that has worn off the initial layers of the tire. But all said and done, the grip from the tires does feel a little skittish, but I won't blame the car for it. Now that I've also driven the Polo GTI, this needs to be pointed out. The brakes on this car don't feel as predictable as the one on the Polo GTI. But that's just nitpicking. It needs a little getting used to. The bite comes in a little more into the brake travel. And once you're used to it, you will know how to work around it.
Learning the reins of this car isn't hard. And once you're there, you will be mildly impressed at how exceptional the Mini's handling is. You're guaranteed to exit every corner fast and grinning.
As is the norm with most new cars, this car too will give you multiple driving modes to choose from. By default, it starts in the mid mode, which is more like a normal mode, trying to achieve a balance between driving fun and fuel efficient performance. You also have a green mode, literally that's what it's called, the green mode, which is self-explanatory again. It basically will move to a more sober setup for the engine. The engine won't be as sharp, the gearbox won't be as sharp, and it will also mute the sounds. So it will sound like a regular city hatchback.
The steering also lightens up, making it a convenient city driver too. And when no one's watching, you can shift back into sport, stiffen things up, and let the exhaust snarl and wake up your neighbors. But if childish mischiefs like these aren't your thing, then you might just be the serious kind and end up nitpicking a few things.
Like for example, in this car, you do not get an inside rearview mirror that has an auto-dimming function. The fabric for the sunroof, it's so thin that I can still feel the heat coming in. You have a heads-up display that ends up looking like an aftermarket accessory. It doesn't feel as well integrated as the rest of the cars from the BMW branding. But for the kind of fun that this car offers, for the kind of driver-focused nature that this car has, I really don't think you should buy into a Mini going in for luxury. This is something that is built for the enthusiast in you. It's very difficult to sort of sum this up and put it into words what the experience of driving a Mini Cooper S feels like. Hot hatches, they are fun, and most of them are like this. And there are quite a few of them in India, the latest one being the Polo GTI. But very few of them have the kind of character that this car has. Now, if this is going to be your first entry into the luxury car segment, because the Minis are so well priced, you will be welcomed by the dilemma of the big options list that dealerships like to throw at you. However, if you and I are on the same wavelength, and if you would buy this car for its driving dynamics more than its exclusive form, then there are a few recommendations that I would like to make. We begin with the sports gearbox. One, it gets you a much sportier setup, and two, it gets you the paddle shifters, and which is what adds to the whole driving fun of this car. It will set you back by about 25,000 bucks, and you can also complement it with the leather steering wheel, which is about 30,000 rupees, and that's one thing that I would strongly recommend. The feel of the steering wheel, its size, everything is just perfect for the kind of driving fun this car offers. Then you also have the optional dampers, and those are the adjustable dampers, and that's a must-have, because the kind of balance that it achieves between the ride quality on our Indian roads and the sort of flat ride it offers around twisties, that's a must-have. It will set you back about 80,000 rupees if I'm not wrong. That was the price when I checked it last. And finally, the most important bit, the Harman Kardon audio unit. It will set you back by about 1.6 lakh rupees. I would say skip it. Instead, take the JCW tuning kit. It will cost you about 2.5 lakh. Oh, but it gets you a lot more. It gets you a much more cheerful character to this car. It gets you the legacy of the John Cooper Works lineup, and more importantly, it gets you a lot more speed. And I think this soundtrack beats anything that you're going to play from those Harman Kardon speakers.